Welcome to Mentor. I'm Rachel Ford.
And I'm Marco Bertozzi.
And coming up today, Marco, we've got a great guest, haven't we? Dom Williams of Mail Metro Media. He is such a wonderful person in our industry, isn't he? I think he's everybody's friend, but most of all, a supporter. I think he was our first supporter, actually.
Yes.
From TheZoo.London.
Very
and
important.
We are very grateful he put his trust in us. But he's got some interesting stories, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think we have something in common, which is going from agency to sales at a reasonably senior level. So great to hear about his experiences there and find out why he was thinking about leaving after a week.
Yeah, a week. That was a pretty tough time at the time. And I just think what it is a lesson in, he wants to love his job, and he does, and he loves this industry. So it's just a really nice, positive...
Or change it.
Yeah, or change it. And he's such a lover of his team as well. So let's get Dom in.
Come on in, Dom.
Our guest today is one of the media industry's most loved and respected leaders, Dom Williams. Dom is the Chief Revenue Officer at Mail Metro Media, leading UK advertising revenue across the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday, Mail Online and Metro. He made the brave leap into media sales from the agency world with over 20 years at Dentsu, including leadership roles at Dentsu, Aegis Network and Cara. He brings deep expertise in media, advertising and commercial strategy, but from my point of view, he was genuinely one of the most kind and generous colleagues and friends you can ever ask for. Dom, you're a friend to everybody. You're just so generous with your time. So we are so lucky to have you here today.
Rachel's trying to make all our guests cry.
I know.
Is that what you're doing?
But you're not going to make me cry, but that's very, very kind of you. Yeah?
Well, no, you are. You're an absolute gentleman. And we are thrilled to have you here today because we know how busy your diary is. And I can't believe you're actually even in the country this week.
So I was in New York 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot in New York with the launch of Mail Plus, Mail Online. We are having a reorganisation in America, which I'm fully involved with the owners. And really exciting times. So it's nice to be back. I'm not sure my wife's really happy that I'm back. But
they get used to you being away, don't they?
Yeah, they do. The kids do as well. But they don't really
routine,
see me anyway during the week
Yeah.
because of the hours I work. But when I come back, I make it a real effort that I spend more time with them at the weekends.
Yeah, quality time.
Yeah. But it's very kind of you. So very, very happy to be here.
Yeah.
So,
Is it? We'll come come back to a great. Is it a different vibe in America in terms of work? Like, have you noticed sort of?
Yeah, I think it's faster.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's faster. It's intriguing in a way that how agencies and clients work out there, and they're still not back full time back in the office.
New York, especially, yeah,
especially 2 or 3 days. But we've got a really, the office in New York and LA they're vibrant, and we've got a very good team there. We're very lucky to have a good team there, and we're working really closely with them. But I love going over to America. It's good. It's different. It's changing things up. It's about audiences. So it's
huge audiences, right?
Yeah, we're big over there. We're really big, and where we got over here, we're a 125-year-old company. Over there, we're 14 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's totally different.
Yeah.
So we've got no history. But we can get meetings in with anyone over there because they know us for showbiz, royal news. They love the royals over there, which is good. It's handy. And we've got a new editor over there who's just brought breath of fresh air, and she is wonderful, Katie Davis.
Do you get to any celebrity events then over there?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, do you? What's your latest
Oh, we
celebrity
saw
event?
one 3 weeks ago, and I was behind Tom Cruise.
Oh, wow.
And everyone talks about his height, and I'm smaller than him. Really
can you run as fast
peeved.
as he can?
No.
He can run across bridges,
and I tried to get a
planes.
picture for him for my daughter, and I was taken away. I was saying, I'm press. Yeah. And basically security said whatever, and they pushed me right into the queue. So I got a picture of him, about 100 people were in front of me. So
in the back of his head. But you were there.
Yeah, Tom
You're
Cruise.
such a glamorous life, isn't
Well,
it?
let's rewind a little bit, and we ask all our guests to try and sum up their career in 60 seconds, or give or take.
Yeah.
Some have gone beyond that. And actually, normally we're at fault, aren't we? Because we end up
we
asking
just end
questions.
up asking questions.
But let's start with the premise of your career in 60 seconds.
Yeah, okay, I'll try for 60 seconds. So I left university in 1996, Sheffield, loved it up in Sheffield. Went for a job interview at Zenith, got it, turned it down, and because I was offered a job at YMG, as it was known then, before it went to TMD Cara, with the infamous Dave King and Tim Kirkman, and stayed. So it was multimedia in those days. So TMD was the media department, and I worked there in the group for just under 21 years in different roles, and then finished up as chief investment officer. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And people, we were talking earlier, 21 years, that's a long time. Should you have left earlier? I just loved it. I did. I loved it.
I think it's one of those, when you talk certainly to people earlier on in their careers about, because that's always a bit of a thing, isn't it? Should you stay 20 years? Should you change jobs every 5 years? I'm always like, there's so many jobs out there that you can move into that don't work out. You don't enjoy. You don't like the boss. If you're enjoying what you're doing, don't underestimate that. Is really, if you have a nice, good family of people around you, then I always think stick with it. Because there's so many other things out there that, great, it could work out, but also it might not. So,
But I think if you think if you're still being challenged, there's still new things to do. I think it's like I stayed at Publicis 20 years, and there was always a different challenge or a different role. And I think if it feels different, you don't want to get stuck in a rot, do you? But it was when I think it was like when I left at 20 years, I thought if I don't leave now, I'm going to be here for another 30 years, and I can't believe it worked that long.
Maybe
but
10
it's just,
20,
maybe 10. And it's it was a bit of a now or never when I left. But it's a big leap, though, from agency to media sales. I mean, Marco did it. I think you've been more successful. You've got 8 years at Mail Metro Media. How many
survived
did
a bit
you
longer.
4.5 at
Rachel's
25?
desperate to say this.
Yeah. Well, no, because I think
it's very unkind.
Well, I think no. What you said,
but true.
It's true. But what you said to me is people underestimate the leap from agency to sales, and obviously you've
hard.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah.
It was very hard when I left Aegis. I remember speaking to Tracy and Jerry and Nigel. I said, I'm going to leave in the next 12 months because I've been here 20 odd years. And, first of all, they said, well, it's really bad timing. And I went, well, I don't know, Tracy, 20 years. Well, when is good timing? Yeah. He said, one more pitch, Dom. And I remember doing that pitch, my last pitch as a finance client. And probably the best pitch I ever did. We didn't win it, but best pitch because I was just me. I wasn't on 10 hooks. So I wanted, obviously, Aegis to win it, Dentsu to win it, desperate to win it, go off on a high. And we didn't, unfortunately. But I was just more me, because I knew that I was, in 8 months' time, I was going into a new role and outside. But it was tough. Right, Marco, it's tough going to media owner side because maybe I was at agency side too long. And then making the jump to media owner side.
What role did you join as when you joined?
I joined, so I went from chief investment officer at Dentsu, Amplify, and then went as chief commercial officer.
Oh, right, yeah, so it was
so I reported into the CRO.
Because I always said when I started that I was more suited to the job which was to run the Europe teams. Yeah. I always said that if I'd have joined as the head of UK sales, for example, I probably would have done I wouldn't have been able to adapt as well. Right. Because I really felt like there were expert. I think people in agencies underestimate the art of sales. And we've had a couple of people on this show, and if you've been working in sales for 25 years, there's a you've got experience that an agency person can't just wander in and go, I can do that, it's easy.
I think also I had in my mind, I thought it's going to be a bit easier. I don't know why I thought that. And I thought it's just going to be a few lunches here and there, a few dinners, a few presentations, be nice to a couple of people, get some money in. But it was totally opposite. We've got a lot of stakeholders. Any media owner, especially in news brands, we've got lots of stakeholders. I've got lots of editors, privately owned stakeholders there. and I've got a responsibility for my team to make sure that we perform well and change. And we'll talk about that later, about change the culture. But it was a lot harder, and I resigned in my head after a week. My wife said, "You got to grow a pair. You can't just give it in a week." I made 2 phone calls. I was going back to Dentsu straight away.
Wow.
That's after 1 week. After a year, still wasn't clicking. It probably took me 18 months, if I'm honest with you.
Wow.
And I didn't like it, and I lost my confidence, and I felt very isolated. I didn't know many people at the group.
And you'll have known everyone at Dentsu, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely everyone.
And you'd grown up with them.
Yeah.
They were like your work family.
Yeah.
And we did, like, our podcast is called Mentor. Obviously, through that really difficult time. I mean, I can't believe your wife, like, must have said when you said, "I'm going to resign after 1 week." I'm sure your wife mentored you through that. Were there any people that you also turned to from a more business?
Yeah. I went. He's been my mentor over the years as well, and he's a very close friend of mine, Stephen Moran. I went to Stephen.
Yeah.
And he's the one who really helped me through the 18 months. And he worked there. He was managing director of Mail on Sunday, and he was part of the launch of Mail Online. And so he knew the organisation, he knew the family. He knows Lord Rothermere very well. And he helped me. He helped me navigate myself around the organisation, and he gave me confidence again. And he was, him, and I spoke to some industry friends, Claudine Collins. She was like, you got to keep going, change. You got to change yourself, Dom. We used to be known as gorillas with calculators at Cara. So I've had to change myself, my personality and my character for this role, but still be me as well.
Yeah.
But Stephen was Stephen, I'll never forget what he did for those 18 months with me. I was not in a great place, and he got me out of it.
So if you're thinking about, because there's senior people in agencies today that will be flirting with going into, those opportunities will come up.
Yeah.
What would you say, looking back on that, if you were to give them, like, if you're going to do this, this is what to either watch out for, or,
You'll have a number on your head from day one. I have a number on my head 24/7.
It's a rolling number. It never ends.
And agencies obviously have a number on your head, yeah. And I'm not
different.
saying agencies are any easier than media owners, but it was, because you're pitching all the time, and you've got different pressures from hundreds of clients all the time. And they want new ideas, and so it's the agency world is very different now, and it's hard. It's hard. But on the media owner side, it is it's hard as well. But it's a number in your head, and there's lots and lots of stakeholders, and you have a very, very good trading month, and you can have a very, very bad trading month, and all the eyes. You don't get many compliments when you're doing well, but when you're doing badly, everyone has a view of what you're not doing right. So that, and when I didn't have that pressure at Aegis, at Dentsu, I didn't have that pressure on a daily basis. I've got quite a few CFOs as well, because it's a big organisation, the Mail Group.
Yeah.
Global organisation.
And how do you coach how do you then mentor your team through that? Because obviously your team, you work with some of the best in media, they've got to be high performing. How do you help coach and mentor them through that? Yeah,
so I'm a very demanding boss. I want the best of the best, and so I push them, but I support them. Oh my goodness me, do I support them? The reason why I'm in this position is because we have created a team that and a culture, and they have my 100% support. But either they have mentoring themselves, and also one of our values is love media, and part of loving media is, this really key value, this is, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, go and do something else, and I'll help you get another job. Yeah, but you've got to enjoy it. So try not to take it too seriously. And when things do happen, lots of things happen, and life is not always rosy and positive. Yeah, just think some things will happen, right? And it's not planned. So basically, put your arm around them.
Yeah, so
and give them, and I also protect them. I think there's one thing I do, and I learned this from Dentsu days. You can. I had a very good boss, Nigel Sharrocks, who protected me from aggressive clients. Yeah. And he was the buffer, so to speak, and he used to calm things down. I learned a lot from Nigel. And he used to say, no one's died.
Yeah.
Right? No one's died. We can get through it. And I protect the teams from, that they don't have the daily pressures that's given to me.
Yeah,
So
I think it's having a bit.
protecting
It's having a bit of perspective. I think
Yeah.
I used to say, look, we're not surgeons. We're not. This is not a life or death
Yeah.
situation. But let's now find a solution and help find those solutions, because things will always happen, as you say, that are
But
unpredictable.
in a leadership role, you do have the opportunity to protect people or not.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
depending on whether you're, I guess, depending on whether you're willing, because I always think it's about, are you willing to lose business over it? Ultimately, because if you do piss someone off
Yeah.
by protecting your team,
Yeah.
then there's always that. And I think you just have to be prepared,
To make that call.
to make that call.
Yeah,
And culture comes,
Yeah.
culture and people come over money. And I think teams definitely recognise that when
And
they see it.
the criticism probably the team have of me is, we do run 100 miles an hour, and we don't stop. One of our values is test new things. We're testing. We have to. We're a publisher. We're up against TikToks of the world and Google and YouTube and Meta, and audio and broadcasters and other publishers. I mean, it's cinema. It's very competitive out there. So we have to run 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So we have a very, old cliche, work hard, play hard. It's definitely a work hard, and the people who are there, they get rewarded well in terms of, they like working at Mail Metro Media. There's a reason why they won, not me, they won Commercial Team of the Year.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are the best of the best. I didn't enter it this year because just in case we didn't win it. But it's a very sought after place to work.
Yeah.
And it's new, so it can be opinionated. It's not an easy place to work, and because not all news is good news. But it's we've got a really interesting team now, and they're ambitious. I love them. I do. They're part of apart from my immediate 3 kids, they're part of the family.
Yeah.
And I feel that DMGT, Mail Metro Media, have made the leaps to make sure it is a good place to work. This is just words. This is a good place to work.
Well, we talk about like you're a team, you've got each other's back, you're in it together. So that's like, sometimes you are in the trenches together, aren't you? And then sometimes you're, celebrating the wins, but together, when on the losses. And is that the culture then that you feel that you brought when you kind of like felt a bit fish out of the water at the beginning? Did you bring some learnings from your Aegis Dentsu days into the
I said
culture?
my first presentation to the department, and I said, there's 2 things here. I'm really embarrassed. I don't know any of you here. And I said, then that's not my fault. I've been agency side for 20 years. I should recognise some of you. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying, you're too internal facing.
Yeah.
You need to be external. You're sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and be external.
Yeah.
No one knows you.
Yeah.
And and the second thing is, with the owners and my boss at the time, I said, right, if you believe in me in changing this around, we need to sort the culture out first, and then the cash will flow.
Yeah.
Right? So we sorted out, and I said it's not overnight as well.
You need some time.
Yeah.
You need to give me a bit of time.
Yeah.
Promote within, bring in some people who will be challenging to the current structure, mix it up a bit, start testing things. We've got 4 values: respect. We did this from day one, really. Respect your colleagues, clients come first, test new things, and love media. 4 things.
Yeah.
I didn't need to bring a contractor, a consultant in,
Yeah.
pay him or her loads of money to. I did it on the tube.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what I think. And I spoke to all the teams, some of my teams, Hannah's of the world. So and I said, what do you think? They went, Dom, it's the first time we've had like values on the sales floor.
Yeah.
And the other bit is, when I started, my past didn't work on the editorial floor. So I wasn't allowed in editorial. Yeah, I'm running sales. But they could crawl all over our department, and I just went, "This is not fair, all right."
Yeah.
And we've changed it, and the way we work with editorial now is like this: it's church and state.
I was going to say church and state. You've still got to
100%.
have that.
And I would never work for an organisation that doesn't have church or state.
Yeah, it's the integrity piece. Isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
And
But you're more of a partnership than a hierarchy. I
yeah.
mean, there would have been, historical hierarchy of
Yeah. Look at the media leader that Grimmer did just after Christmas. I had 2 editorial colleagues along.
Yeah.
That would never happen. I mean, the editorial from the Mail Group.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, would never happen. And it's that we're really, really, Metro's always happened, obviously, but with the paid-for newspapers and Mail Online, and New Scientists, they're there. We're on a journey together.
Yeah.
And but and it's tough.
And I think, as you say, keep it simple, 4 values, and and then this is the expectation on each other.
Yeah.
And if any falls foul of that, then
I remember coming down to see you, on my second week there, and I went, Dom, tell us your story. And I said, the first thing is we're open for business. Right?
Yeah.
At the moment, everyone thinks, well, no, everyone says no from the Mail Group. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Not anymore. We're open for business.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're not as commercial as we used to be. We just want to work with partners.
Yeah.
And you went, that's really refreshing. And I said, meet Hannah, meet Grant, this is the team.
Yeah.
Right? And you asked me, what am I investing in? I said, I'm investing in insight and data. Because if we don't have insight and data, I mean, they had 1 person in insight and data. Then so I had about 40 or 50.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our narrative for the market.
Yeah.
I said, let's go and sell ourselves to the market. And I remember saying to the department, we will win the sales team of the year.
Yeah.
Right. And they all laughed at me. They went, who's this bloke from an agency? What's he know? He should go back to agency. He won't last long. And I remember, my SLT team who have been consistent for about 5 or 6 years. And they're going, we want to win it.
Yeah.
We want to win it for Mail Metro Media. And it is. It's, the Mail Metro Media, when it's on fire, it's on fire.
I think you have transformed it. I remember when I was, it wasn't the year you won it, but you came a really close second. And it was just from the moment you walked in the building and the presentation you gave, it just felt so fresh and different.
Yeah.
And it really, and as I say, it takes time. And then, a couple of, years later, you've got the accolade, which is...
It gives you a good framework. I mean, Spotify won it in 2020, and it's all... I think you can obsess about awards, and there's too many awards now. There are a few that do have value. I think Agency of the Year and Commercial Team of the Year are definitely 2 of them. But even if you're not that obsessed with it, the framework of things that you have to... It is really hard to win that, like really hard.
Yeah.
And if you can tick all those boxes... You've probably transformed your business. If you've gone from nowhere near it to winning it, it's a great framework because it covers so much ground. And
also it gives you a framework, and you go, right, so we're really good at the moment. Okay, how do we get better?
Yeah.
How do we get better? So within 2 weeks, nursing a hangover and what have you. It didn't last 2 weeks, admittedly, but it felt like 2 weeks. But after 2 weeks, I went regroup. So right, what's next?
Yeah.
I said, where are we with AI? Right, what are we going to do with AI? This person over here says he's an expert, and she's done it for like 3 months. I went, surely there are better people who've got more experience than this, and we're still with her, and she's amazing. I said, what's next? What's next?
Yeah. Well, what we're testing next?
We always ask our clients. Remember our second value: clients come first. And I got that from Cara. It was in we couldn't stop winning business at Cara. Yeah. We lost a few pieces of business around the edges, but we couldn't stop winning because clients came first. Yeah. And I was always taught by Nigel Sharrock, stay close to the clients and stay close to the cash. Yeah. And I haven't changed. Very true. I haven't changed.
That is advice I give as well. Yeah. Don't be on the fringes. And I think what you're also describing is the fact that then actually you gave that framework and also that confidence to the whole team and that self-belief. Is there anybody that perhaps has struggled with self-belief or confidence? Have you ever had to mentor somebody to believe in themselves, and what have you tried to help those that maybe not as confident? Yeah, it's very measurable on sales. You're either bringing in the money or not. And you have periods of doing exceptionally well and you have periods of not doing so well. And you can see, especially over COVID, and we have Metro in the portfolio as well, as you know, that was tough. And I could see a couple of people left the business, they couldn't cope with it. And some others, we put our arms around them, said it will be okay. Yeah.
It will be okay. And they were thinking, are you going to shut it? Are you going to shut it? Are you shut it? No, we're not going to shut it. We're just going to be a website rather than a free newspaper. And I said, no. So that was tough. It was very tough on the Metro team. They were flying January 2020.
2020.
Right.
Yeah.
They were flying. I think they had the best month ever on record of a 20-year
Sod's
brand.
bloody law.
And then suddenly
just like,
and I remember my amazing colleague, Grant, he said, this is not happening. And he said it'd be for 2 months. And I went, yeah, okay. Reports are saying it's going to be longer than 2 months. But we had to really get in the trenches and support our colleagues editorially and commercial, because they're very close, obviously. And that's difficult. That was probably the hardest part of my time over COVID for the Metro team. But Mail Online flew.
Yeah.
Right, it just flew. Obviously, traffic.
Yeah.
It just flew, and it did exceptionally well. And the other papers held their own.
Yeah.
Right, but Metro struggled, and that was tough, and it filtered, especially when you have all behind Zoom, all working from home. But you had half the department doing exceptionally well, and the other half not. That was tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really tough. When I keep saying one team, we got one team, on its knees, and the other team flying. I mean, very, very hard.
Yeah.
So we had there's a lot of people who needed a lot of support.
So, looking back over all of those years, we like to learn from our mistakes, don't we?
Yep.
So
a few of them.
We always like to hear about the fuck ups every so often.
Quite a few.
Obviously, yeah, and most people have had quite a few. What's a good one that stands out for you? And I mean, sometimes we always say, "What did you learn from it?" But maybe you didn't learn anything.
Yeah. Well, I definitely learnt from this one. I was running Cara Direct, and so it's all about numbers, all about performance, all about responses, all about conversions. And a client, I'll say it anyway, Royal Mail, right? They got this big DR campaign. And I forgot to book the campaign.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I was very fortunate because I got on very well with the account director, Richard Morris, and he saved my bacon because he persuaded the client. He'll hate me telling this because you know what Moz is like. Yeah? He'll hate this. No, that never happened. I never told the client to do that. He basically rang the client and said, I think you should start this campaign a week later.
Yeah.
Because I think it would get more responses and we can move the campaign around. That's not booked. Right? And we moved the campaign and he saved my bacon. My biggest I lost sleep. And I literally, somehow I got promoted about 3 weeks later because we kept it. Rich and I kept it just between us two and the client. But I did basically own up to the client later on. We got on quite well with the client. And the client said the campaign worked really well. Thanks so much, Dom. And I said, I'll be honest with you, I forgot to book the campaign. He went, oh, you always say things like that. I went, no, seriously, I did.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be sacked. So worse, I remember for about 2 weeks.
It's that moment when you realise.
And I've never forgotten to book a campaign again.
I've got to say,
ever.
It's a hard lesson to learn, isn't it? Yeah.
So even now, my stomach turns.
I can imagine it's making me feel a bit ill.
Can we?
And Richard made me feel really bad.
Well,
about a week. And he's one of my best mates in the industry.
Yeah.
So,
but he had your back. Like, you had each other's back, and it actually worked out in the end.
What's yours then?
Well, we don't talk about ours too often, but one is quite similar to this, which was Safeway. I was a TV bar on Safeway, and I worked for Tracy Stern, and I forgot to. They had a really big launch campaign, and I forgot to book GMTV. And anyone who knows GMTV at that day, very hard to get the airtime. Like you had to book, or you were done. So I forgot to book the airtime, and when I realised it, I was sick to my stomach. This will tell you something about my modus operandi in the day. I walked around the TV department going, has anyone got a fax delivery slip for GMTV for 2 pages? And anyway, I got one. I printed off the thing, I attached it, and I said to Tracy, Tracy, they haven't booked the GMTV airtime.
And your partner of it.
I mean, oh my God.
And I showed her the fax slip, and I said, I've sent it. Anyway, I get a call from, and I wish I could remember her name, but she used to run sales at GMTV. I get a call, and she says, Marco, Well, I've just had Trace on the phone, and they were friends, chewing my ear off. And I looked at the fact receipt, and it does seem strange that your booking came across at exactly the same time as the Sarah Lee, blah, blah, blah campaign.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not going to ring Tracy back. I'm going to assume the worst. And I will try and get you some airtime, but if I don't get you any, I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so I put that phone down, like...
And also Tracy could be fierce.
And Tracy was fierce.
Tracy...
Fierce, very supportive,
fierce.
but fierce. And I turned to Tracy. I thought, well, it's over. So I turned to Tracy. Okay, Tracy, I said I put that GMTV airtime. She went, yeah. I said, I didn't. I lied.
And then what did Tracy say?
She didn't speak to me for 2 weeks, and we sat next to each other.
Yeah.
And she
Hard 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people in the company thought it was a good 2 weeks, but
well, you live to tell the tale.
Learn.
You do learn from it.
Yours,
yeah.
Rach? What's yours?
I was a TV buyer as well, and my boss went on holiday, and I was booking the campaign on my own, and I thought I'd done an amazing job. I got some brilliant slots in some brilliant programs. What I didn't realise, I'd really messed up the time ratio. So it's meant to be 2-1, 2-1, 30 to 10, and basically I fucked it all up, and then overspent on the campaign about $500,000. And when she came back,
that's an overspend.
Ouch.
and said, "Oh, great programs. How's the second lens?" So I was like, "Oh, was I meant to look at that as well?" And she went, "Yeah, you've over delivered." So then I had to explain to the client that I'd over delivered. So they loved all the programming. I think they had the best sales ever. So I think actually, yeah. So it's probably it was
formative years.
I never, because I was so chuffed with myself. When she came back from holiday, I would have done a brilliant job. No, you haven't. But then the following year, I did win Craft TV Buyer of the Year. So I learned from my mistakes and would never do that again.
You have to learn from them. And, I say to the teams, when things happen, I go, whatever you do, make sure that the whole process, because we can't have the reputation of going to the market, promising the world and under-delivering. It's a cardinal sin. And some media owners do. They over-promise and under-deliver. Not at the Mail Group.
No.
It says what it is on the tin. We've got amazing audiences. We're going to deliver it, and we will deliver it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, so I definitely learnt an early lesson.
Yeah, I think we all do. We have all lived to tell the tale. Another thing we also like to ask is, because obviously over the time you've worked with some brilliant people, we talk about, was there a Magpie moment? Is there something that you saw somebody do or say or behaviour you thought, that's really interesting, I'm going to steal that with pride, something that you've seen?
Yeah, I think the upfronts for us is, I obviously used to go to all the upfronts, the TV ones, and I thought when I went down to the Mail, I said, we need to do an upfront. So we're not a broadcaster. We don't have broadcasters' scale, or we have their scale, but we don't have the investment onto an upfront. So when I floated the idea with the marketing team, and they said, "Well, what we're going to say?" And I said, "That's a good thing." So we didn't do it that year. I said, "We're going to do it next year." And it's known. Our upfronts are known. Because we went.
Came
last year, didn't it?
It was at the
October. I think it's
at the Outfit.
Outfit, Court Road, yeah. And that was the moment. And I used to go to like Channel 4's ones a lot, and and I sneaked into a few since I've been at the Mail, and I that was the moment I thought we need to do something like that. Tell our story. And I think we were very, biggest publisher in the UK. And I thought we weren't telling our story to our customers and our agencies. I said, let's get out there. So we started off with 100 people. And last year, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And last year we had 600 people, 550, 600. Lots of clients, lots of agencies.
Lots mixed between advertisers, agencies.
Lots of different levels as well.
Yeah.
From CEOs to grads, which is important. Yeah, especially when we're publishers are under pressure, losing money to social media channels. So we have to compete with them and work with them. So that was the moment I thought, we've got to do this. But the key one for me has always been Stephen Maren's Black Book. Incredible. The best of the best. And I always go, I want to, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but I want to be like him, because his contacts are second to none.
Yeah.
So I've spent 8 years, I had good contact lists anyway, but 8 years, clients move, around.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we're doing the agencies and the clients. I'm going to always do it with the agency and never do it underhand and I have a very, very, nothing like Stevens,
Wow.
but we're getting there.
Yeah.
And because you need the client to believe in what you're trying to tell them about, their story, your audiences, and how you can make their campaigns perform and work for them.
Yeah.
So they're the two ones.
He could open a lot of doors though, Stephen Moran, because obviously all the Jingle Bell Ball or Summertime Ball, he can invite all the clients to that, and it's because it is about media is exciting, and actually our world is an exciting part for advertisers to come into. They don't get
some clients love our upfronts because they
it's a bit of glitz, isn't it?
They're meeting the editorial teams. They can meet the owner, the actual owner of the group, and his son. They can meet the editorial team. They get some nice free beers and canapes, whatever, afterwards, in a cool place. And we have cool people on stage, Jamie Easton podcast with Phil Harvey on video, and we're talking about how we can work with content, and it's exciting stuff we're doing.
It is really exciting.
We heard today, we were at the Adweek Speed Mentoring, and we heard about advice to the sort of younger generations is similar, i.e. get out there, make connections, meet people. You don't know where it will go, if it will go anywhere, but just meet people and be out. And I think that's something, again, we're of a generation, probably the people we're talking to, but that message is, keeps coming back, which is you've got to be out there for your career, for your future. That network may come in useful for something or other, who knows? But that is it sounds like from your perspective as well, and probably to your team, I guess.
You're not going to learn anything working from home 5 days a week. You're not going to learn anything from a Zoom call. You're going to do it by sitting next to someone, or going out for coffee, or going out for a beer, or going meet them for a meeting in their offices, or what have you. And there's some people I go to their houses who are not back in the office. So I go and see them because I want to see them, if it's good or bad news, rather than just, and this also breaks the day up as well.
But it is a sort of it's still a relatively, I know it's changing, but a relatively unpopular opinion. How have you sort of managed that? I think the answer is you should be in the office, you should be out with clients. How have you balanced
It's quite easy for me because we have journalists in 7 days a week.
I can just say,
I can say, well, they're in 7 days a week. I'm in 5 days a week. And, on Mondays, I drop the kids off at school at the beginning of the week because of my wife's work commitments. So we're flexible anyway. So I've got the sales team back in 4 days a week, that only from January. But, we've got an office in London Bridge as well because a load of agencies are down there. So they've got hybrid offices there. We're flexible anyway. If you've got a doctor's appointment,
it's not about
kids,
stopping life.
We're flexible before COVID, and it's just acting as a grown up. But the outer teams, the data and insight team, the creative solutions, the commercial editorial team, marketing, they're in 3 days a week. So it's flexible, but it depends. But I work with grown ups.
Right? And as you say, the flexibility, everybody's treated as a grown up. If you've got an appointment you need to get to, but be in the office because to be amongst it, and also that's the human connection. And you can't. We were talking earlier about you can't read somebody's body language or how they. You do need to meet people in real life to kind of we communicate in lots of different ways, not just our voices.
I had to explain to the sales team. I said, I don't want you in here in the office. I want you out seeing clients and agencies. I don't want you in the office, but I want you to be working outside your lounge, study, bedroom, whatever. And the majority believe on that policy.
Yeah.
And it was me. It wasn't given to me from the editorial or the owner. It was me, and I said, I think the productivity increases. You learn more.
I think it's learning,
and it's a bit more fun.
Yeah. And it's a serendipity of a spark of a conversation or, an opportunity that you're not going to get. From your
and to be quite commercially minded, if you're not in someone's reception, someone else will be.
Exactly.
That's what it
we've got loads of agencies have loads of our salespeople in their offices, hot desking, what have you. Perfect.
Yeah, it is.
And when I go into these agencies and I see my colleagues there, and I just go, good, because our competitors are not there.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be in it to win it.
I
You've
love
got to
it.
be in it to win it. I
In it
can't
to
believe
win it.
we're actually we're
Time
almost
is
out of time.
flying.
But I would like to just finish on, if this is possible, Dom, that is there a best piece of advice, and this could be personally or professionally, that you've been given across your life? You might not have followed it, but but is there a piece of advice that you could pass on to the listeners that has sat with you?
Two things I'd say. First one, try and enjoy it. Just have a bit more fun, because it's all really serious, this, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's really serious. Yeah? And I sit in some really serious meetings, and I have to pinch myself and think, what would my grandma think of me now? And I'm all these really serious people, and me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah? I'm nodding. Yeah. So enjoy it. Yeah, have fun and listen. Probably my wife would say I need to listen better. But listen.
That comes up,
the guys. What comes up with me, isn't it?
No, it comes up. No, not with you. Not with you. This has come up a few times in this podcast. Right. Two ears, one mouth.
Yeah. Because I'm learning from them. We employed someone the other day who's young, just out of university, and I said, "Tell me about Snap again. Remind me about how it all works again." So I think I know it. My daughter's on it. How can we commercialise? What do you think? She's 22.
Yeah.
And so I said, how do you think I can make more money with work with clients better, and we can make it more commercial? And she said, what about this? What about that? I said, never thought about that.
Yeah,
Thanks.
brilliant.
I was
exactly.
Like, love it. Why don't you have sound on these and not on those? Yeah. And I love it.
Yeah.
And she said, you need a bit more. We need to sell it slightly different to what we're selling now. She's 22 or 23 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And great opportunity for her to be able to influence,
Well, also, that's,
Well, she comes on stage with me and I said, this is what we're going to do.
But that's like reverse mentoring, isn't it? Because she would feel that she's getting time with you, which she would really love, and you're learning, and she's influencing the commercial strategy. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Well, Dom, I can't believe that time has flown. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Good luck to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So sadly, that's all we've got time for this week. Don't forget, we love to hear all about your mentors and your advice. So please do find us on our socials. The links are in the show notes, and we'd love you to leave us a comment.
And don't forget, Mentor is a Viral Tribe entertainment production. Don't forget to give us a follow on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I'd said that rather well, I thought.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Marco.